English Podcast City.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back, my friends. I'm really happy you're here today. This is our little place where we learn English slowly, calmly, and together. I hope you're feeling relaxed, comfortable, and ready to listen. Take a deep breath with me. Good. Today, we have a really helpful topic. It's something many English learners want to understand. But before we start, I want to say hello to my amazing guest. Maria is here with us again. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be back. I love being here because this podcast feels warm and friendly. It feels like sitting with a friend and drinking a cup of tea while learning something new.
Yes, exactly. I want our listeners to feel safe, relaxed, and never stressed. English is easier when your mind is calm. And today's topic is connected to that idea. We will talk about how to think in English. Many people ask this question. They say, Alex, how can I think in English? My brain always goes back to my first language. And you know what? This is completely normal. Every learner feels that way at the beginning.
That's true. When I started learning English, I didn't think in English at all. I translated every sentence in my head. It was slow. It felt heavy. But after some time, something changed.
Yes, and we will talk about how to make that change happen. But before we do, let's warm up a little. Maria, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I had a simple, quiet morning. I made some tea, opened my window, and listened to the birds outside. It helped me feel calm and ready for the day. How about you?
I had a calm morning too. I sat at my desk, planned this episode, and thought about the questions learners ask. I really enjoy preparing episodes like this. It's relaxing for me, and I love imagining our listeners learning with us, little by little.
Yes, and thinking in English is something they really want help with. Many people tell me they want to think directly in English, but they don't know how to start.
And that's why we're here. Before we explain techniques, I want to say something important. Thinking in English is not something that happens suddenly. It's not magic. It's a slow change that grows naturally when you practice in the right way.
I agree. It's like planting a small seed. You water it, you give it sunlight, and slowly it grows.
Exactly. And I want to remind our listeners that they don't need to force anything. They don't need to push themselves too hard. English should feel like a friend, not like a problem. When you relax, you learn better.
That's why slow listening is so useful. When we listen slowly with calm voices, like in this podcast, it becomes easier to understand English without translating.
Right. And thinking in English starts when you stop worrying about mistakes. Mistakes are okay. Mistakes are good. They show that you are learning. And the more you listen to simple English every day, the more English becomes a natural part of your thoughts.
That's how it happened to me. At first, I tried to translate everything, but later I started hearing simple English in my mind. Sometimes just small words or short sentences, but it felt amazing.
Small words are the beginning. Words like okay, maybe, fine, later, here, there, please, wait, I think, I want, I need. These little pieces of English are the seeds of thinking in English.
And listening to natural conversation helps the brain choose English faster.
Absolutely. So today we want to guide our listeners gently, step by step. We want to show them how to make English appear naturally inside their mind.
That sounds great. So, what's the first idea you want to share?
The first idea is very simple. Start with very small thoughts in English, not long sentences, not perfect grammar, just small, simple ideas you can say inside your mind. For example, when you wake up, you can think, I'm tired, or good morning, or time to eat. These are easy thoughts.
That's true. When I was learning, I used small thoughts like that. I even described simple things in my head, like, my bag is on the chair, or I'm going to work now.
Yes, describing your daily life in English, even in very simple words, helps your brain switch languages without fear. You don't need to explain big ideas. You just need to practice little moments.
And those little moments grow and grow.
Exactly. It's like building a tower, one small block at a time. No rush, no pressure.
Some learners think they need to think in English immediately, but that creates stress.
Yes, and stress stops learning. But calm listening, slow speaking, and simple thoughts help the mind relax into English.
So, what's another important idea?
Another idea is to listen to English every day, even for a short time. It doesn't have to be long. Even 10 minutes can help your brain remember the rhythm of English.
Rhythm is important. When you know the rhythm, you can think in English without translating.
Right. And podcasts like this one help because they use simple language and a slow pace. The brain learns best when it understands it easily.
And when learners shadow, repeat after the speaker, it becomes even more powerful.
Yes, shadowing is one of the strongest tools for thinking in English. When you repeat simple phrases out loud, your mind begins to use them automatically.
I like shadowing because it forces me to stay focused.
And it also teaches your mouth to move in English. When your mouth learns English, your brain follows.
That's true.
We're going to talk much more about this in part 2. But for now, we want our listeners to relax and enjoy the conversation. Thinking in English is not something you fight for. It's something you grow into.
That is a beautiful way to say it.
Thank you, Maria. And I hope our listeners feel calmer already. We will continue with techniques, examples, and helpful tips soon. But first, I want to ask you something.
Sure, ask me.
When did you notice that you were starting to think in English?
Ooh, that's a good question. I remember one morning very clearly. I woke up feeling sleepy, and instead of thinking in my first language, my mind said, 5 more minutes. It was simple, but it was in English, and I didn't try to do it. It just happened.
That's such a perfect example. It shows that thinking in English begins with small, natural moments. You don't have to force long or complicated ideas. Your brain switches languages when it feels comfortable.
Exactly. And that moment felt so exciting for me. I remember smiling because I realized English was becoming a natural part of my thinking.
And that feeling is very encouraging. It motivates learners to continue. But many people ask me, how can I reach that point? So let's talk about the techniques that make thinking in English easier.
Yes, let's do that. What's the first technique you want to explain?
I want to talk about describing what you see. It's a simple habit. For example, if you are walking outside, you can think, the sky is blue, or a car is coming, or I see a tree. These thoughts are very easy, but they train your brain to use English in real time.
I used this method a lot. I looked around my room and said simple things in my mind, like, my phone is on the table, or my window is open, or I need to clean my desk. It helped more than I expected.
That's a great way to practice. The important part is not to worry about perfect grammar. The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. You're connecting your real world with English.
And when you do that every day, even just for a few minutes, you start thinking faster in English.
Right. And here is another technique. Thinking in short English questions. Questions like, where am I going? Or what do I need? Or is this right? These small questions help the brain learn English patterns naturally.
I love this technique. It feels very natural because our minds ask questions all the time. And when we ask them in English, we train our thinking without stress.
Exactly. And stress-free practice is the best practice. Another technique is talking to yourself quietly. Not out loud, just inside your mind. For example, imagining small conversations like, I want coffee, maybe later. That's okay. Or I'm ready to go.
I think many learners feel shy about talking to themselves, but it's one of the most effective ways to think in English.
Yes. And the good thing is, no one hears you. It's completely private. It's just you and your English thoughts.
That makes it safe and comfortable.
Completely. And here's another tip: shadowing. When you shadow, you repeat short phrases after someone. It teaches your brain to copy English rhythm and structure. This creates automatic thinking habits.
I practiced shadowing when I was cooking or cleaning. I listened to short audio clips and repeated them slowly. After some time, the phrases became a part of my natural thinking.
That's wonderful. And I want our listeners to know something important. Thinking in English doesn't mean thinking perfectly. It doesn't mean thinking quickly. It means thinking simply. Even thoughts like, nice day, too cold, I'm hungry, I like this, are already English thinking.
Yes, thinking in English doesn't need to be complicated. It's all about small moments.
And one more helpful idea is using English for feelings. For example, if you feel tired, think, I'm tired. If you feel happy, think, I feel good. If you feel stressed, think, I need a break. Connecting emotions to English is very powerful.
I agree. When you connect emotions to English, the language becomes personal and it stays in your mind longer.
And now I want to talk about something very important: patience. Thinking in English takes time. Everyone learns at their own speed. No two journeys are the same.
Yes, and students should not compare themselves to others. Some people think in English quickly, and some need more time. Both ways are okay.
That's right. There's no rush. Learning English is like growing a plant. It needs water, sunlight, and patience. And eventually, it blooms beautifully.
That's such a peaceful way to think about it.
Thank you, Maria. And I hope our listeners feel calm when they hear that. You don't need to push yourself. You just need consistent practice. A little each day is enough.
I think this message will help a lot of people relax and enjoy learning more.
I hope so. And now I want to move toward our closing discussion because I think we have shared many helpful ideas already.
Yes, let's do that. What closing message do you want to give to our listeners?
I want to say this: thinking in English is a journey, not a test. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to translate every word. You just need to practice with kindness toward yourself. English becomes easier when you stop fighting with it and start living with it.
That is beautiful, Alex. And I want to add something too. Remember to enjoy the small victories. If you think even one short sentence in English today, you are improving. Celebrate that.
Yes, celebrate every step. And remember that English is not your enemy. English is your tool, your support, your doorway to communication with the world.
And we're here to help you walk through that doorway.
Always. And before we say goodbye, I want to thank our listeners for spending this time with us. You are doing something good for yourself by practicing English today.
Yes, thank you for being here with us. We are proud of you.
Stay calm, stay patient, keep practicing. And little by little, you will start thinking in English without even noticing it.
That's true. It will happen naturally.
And we will be here to guide you again in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Take care, my friends. See you next time.